Hey guys, so I'm filming with my GoPro here. Hopefully you can hear me nice and clear. But next step, I'm going to focus on mounting up my blow-off valve. Originally going to mount it up here, but kind of looks out of place up here, I feel. So I think I'm going to throw it down here in this corner. Just that way, also, once I have my dome pressure sensor, all the wiring, my CO2 plumbing and everything, I can run my vacuum port through the top of the blow-off valve here, and I can run it all together so it looks all nice and clean, or whatever way I decide to go with it. So that's the reason behind that. And I think also if I mount it down here, you can kind of see it through the grill as well. So I think that's something else kind of cool. So I'll get that tacked on, sitting in place, and see if I like it, and then I'll get it fully welded and cut out. So yeah, see how it looks. Hey, so I got the blow-off valve all mounted, as you can tell through the grill there. It's all fully welded up. I went in, drilled the hole, ported it all. It's all nice and cleaned up, so that's ready to go there. All installed. I've been messing around with other pointless random stuff for no reason. I mounted up my breather tubes up to my catch can there. I just had to weld the one bung into my valve cover there and build the hose. So it's a little bit tighter than I would have wanted, but it is what it is. In the future, I can probably change that if I have time. So it just goes and runs underneath my throttle body there. Might have to put some hose protection on that, some hose wrap, just because it is very, very tight, and I'm sure it's going to vibrate and hit it. So just to protect it. Moving on to bigger, better things. Going to mount up the trans cooler now. So I don't think I'm going to mount this trans cooler in front of the car anymore, just because of limited space with the turbo, the rad over here, and the intake tubing over there. So I think I'm going to mount it in underneath by the passenger seat. Reason behind the electric fan, obviously because it's going to be underneath the car and there's going to be not as much airflow as it would be in front of the car. Just because it is a turbo car, so I'll probably sit there and as soon as I start the car up, turn that fan on. Try to keep the tranny cool, because it's not like a blown or supercharged car. You can't just go up, stage, wait till the other guy's ready, and then just instantly get up in RPM. Turbo car, it takes a while to get the turbo spooled up. That's just gets your tranny that much hotter just because you're stalling out the converter for so much longer. So reason behind that, electric, start the car, start the fan, go racing. So hopefully that keeps it cool, or cool enough, but we'll see. But anyways, yeah, I'm going to start getting that mounted up underneath the car. This Durell, I think that's how you pronounce it. There's a part number there for it. It comes with -6 fittings, or it comes with barb fittings to 3/8. So you just screw that on if you just want to use tubing. But I'm using -6. So there's my fittings there. And then I also bought these sweet ass adapters. So these screw right into your Turbo 400, 1/4 inch to -6. There's a part number there. It tells you about it there. So yeah, I'll get these screwed in, get this mounted up underneath, and then figure out my routing for my hoses. Hey guys, so this is going to be kind of half an install of the tranny cooler, because I originally was going to mount this cooler in over there underneath the passenger seat, like I said. So I didn't order enough hose, because I only think I would have needed about 1.5 feet. But now, since I didn't like how it mounted up over there, it was too tight around everything, I moved it over here And now I don't have enough hose because now I need to do 2 loops back around into the cooler lines. So yeah, I'll have to order up some more hose to finish that install. But at least it's halfway installed. I just have these rubber legs mounted to the frame. So it's just a rubber mount with studs on either side. I need one more. I got 3 of them, but I'll be mounting it with 4 of them. So at least it's up there mounted where it's going to be. At least that's mounted. So move on to the next. Hey, so I moved on from mounting up the transcooler because I went as far as I could with that. So I moved on to mounting up my coils and then building spark plug wires. So this is how I'm mounting them. I got 1 5/8" clamps to my roll cage. I just put it into the lower hole of these relocation brackets just to lift the coils up that much more, give you that much more tire room. So the tire shouldn't be hitting that unless it pulls some massive wheelie and comes down and jams the tire up into the wheel well, but it should be good. I was originally going to mount these coils in underneath where the old engine mounts were, but it's very, very tight down there, and the last thing I want to do is be laying on my back changing coils at the track. Just this way it's a little bit uglier, but at least it's right there if I need to change one because one craps out. It's super easy, 2 bolts, it's right there. So I was also thinking of putting these in the cab, kind of in by the trans tunnel. I don't really want to run wiring back into the cab and then the spark plugs back out. Just gives you that extra chance of it getting rubbed through or cutting through the firewall. So that's the reason behind this. So I got this side all built up. This is my first time actually building a set of plug wires, just because LS, it's just a pretty much 8-inch long spark plug wire from a coil down to their spark plugs. These forward facing headers, I can't do that, so now I need to make my own set. I'll show you what I got going on here. So I figured I'd just walk you through it here. If I haven't done it, maybe one of you guys haven't and you're curious on how it works. I got 3 this side already made. I'm just gonna plan on bolting it. I'm just gonna have a clamp back here to hold these plugs in and out of the way to the factory wheel well clamp right here. So I'll have to build a clamp later on, but I got these all routed so you can see. These spark plug wires, I'll show you the part number to the kit. 32079, so that's one that I bought. It's kind of an expensive kit, but it's definitely worth it. When you get these plug wires, they got a straight on one end and a 90 on the other, so you can pick whatever side you want. If you want a straight or a 90, and then you cut the opposite end off, and then you put on that other end to your coils. So yeah, I just plug on what other end I'm going to use, which are 90s. Plug that on, route the spark plug wire. It will go all the way up into here, so it'll be flush. So I just hold the wire up, mark it to where this insulation stops, and then yeah, you come over here. This fancy tool has one side's bigger than the other, obviously in case you have bigger spark plug wire. So find the hole that it fits in. It's got 2 notches here. For LS, you go all the way out to the end. You cut the insulation off of it, as you can tell, just like that. So it's already cut off. Then you come over here with your fancy little terminal here. They tell you in the instructions to put 90s right on the very end with needle nose, like bend the very end over. But I found if you put 90s with this big gauge wire, it kind of cut into the insulation. So I've been doing 45s, and the way it crimps, it kind of already folds it back over to a 90. So hopefully when I show you that here, it'll explain everything. So I don't know if you guys can see that, but you can see I put just kind of a little 45-degree bend on that. So from there, you move and put this terminal onto the actual spark plug wire. So yeah, just like that, slid on. That little black tail that was left over when you cut that insulation off, it goes and slides in underneath the terminal. Which this thing would focus for you guys. So the black tail you bend back and it slides in underneath this terminal here. So kind of like in that photo right there. So it's in underneath like that, and then all you do is use a crimper and crimp it. So you can slide this crimp tool over top. The opening will be at the top where the W is. You can see that, it's kind of waved at the top. Grab this other end, goes in like that. And you put this in your vise and pinch it. And just like that, it's all crimped on. So just gonna slide on the 45-degree boot and she should be good to go. So yeah, just like that, they're all made. Like I said, I still have to make a bracket. I just got a zip tied back there, but you guys get the picture. Spark plugs are officially done. So also when I've been done making the spark plug wires, I've just been making sure that there's continuity through it. So just save that troubleshooting in the near future when I finally decide to get this thing fired up. Trans cooler's all mounted, still need to make those hoses, but I'll have to order some more hose. The catch can for the motor, hose is all built, fittings welded on. Spark plug wires and coil brackets, they're all mounted. So yeah, see what else I can get knocked out. Hopefully I can get this alternator figured out and get that out of my life as well. Hey guys, so I'm going to wrap up this video here. It's going to be a little bit longer than my usual videos, so hopefully most of you guys stuck around till now. Apologize, the video is kind of all over the car, but it's just getting to that kind of part of the build where there's so many tiny little things to do that you're just constantly jumping all over the car to try to finish those things. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Maybe you guys learned something with the spark plug wires. I know I did. So yeah, I'll quickly walk you through some of the progress I made off of camera. One thing I managed to get done, the alternator's all mounted up. I got the belt to work. Once I take this engine out just to check it over, I'll verify, make sure everything's in line, just to make sure this belt doesn't fling off when it's spinning up at 7,400 RPM or whatever. So got that all done. I made up a new trans cross member just because my old one's a little bit overkill. I bought that one just because it cleared the dual exhaust and everything. So, and that thing actually weighs 30 pounds. So I bet you that tube that I put underneath the 1.5-inch chromoly, I bet that thing weighs 5 pounds. So at least I saved some weight there, 25 pounds probably. Other tiny little things, I made some mounts for the downpipe and everything. As you can see to the frame there. Just to make this nice and sturdy. It is aluminum, so I'm sure once this is popping and banging on the two-step, just want to make it nice and sturdy, try to make it last. So I'm sure it'll probably crack eventually sometime, but I'll do what I can to try to prevent it. Even on my wastegate dumps, I made some brackets up to the fender there, just make sure everything's nice and tight. And yeah, just try to make it last. As you guys can kind of tell, I was kind of rooting the wiring harness, just seeing how everything fits for now, for the new EFI system that I got. I'll walk you through that just very quickly. I think just with the long video, I'll just briefly discuss this now and I'll talk more in depth in another video. If you guys didn't already guess, I bought the new Holley Terminator. So I'm just kind of rooting everything, seeing how I'm going to mount everything, but trying to get an idea planned out here. I know I said in previous videos I wanted to go fuel tech, but you just can't beat $1,000. It's got boost control and everything in it. It doesn't have that many inputs and outputs, but I worked it out. I should have enough for the boost control, just to control some solenoids, and that's honestly all I need. I just need it to run the engine for now, run a fan, and boost solenoids. So yeah, I'll keep picking away at that. Like I said, I'll go more in depth in another video with that setup, but yeah, car's getting there. Still lots to do, but every week I'm getting closer. Anyways guys, as always, like, comment, hit that subscribe button, and hopefully see you next week. See you guys.